Hi, and welcome to John's Tarot. For those of you new here, let me explain briefly what this is about. Although I am a tarot reader, this is not your traditional tarot reading YouTube video. I work as an ICU nurse, and I'm also a tarot reader. Over time, I began to notice a deep correlation between Carl Jung's process of individuation and what's called a fool's journey in the tarot. Not as prediction, but as a symbolic map of psychological growth. This series is for those of you who find themselves on that journey. The reflections and exercises offered here aren't meant to give you answers, but to help you orient, to notice where you may be and what might be asking for your attention. I'm not here to produce entertainment for the masses. I'm here to walk with the willing. In this episode, we're going to explore something very familiar to all of us, and yet rarely questioned, the persona. The persona is the face we present to the world. It's how we learn to belong, how we survive, how we find our place in family, culture, and work. It's not false and it's not wrong. In fact, we need a persona. Without it, we wouldn't function in society at all. But the problems begin when we forget that the persona is something we wear, and we start believing it is who we are. Most of us didn't choose our persona consciously. It was shaped early by family expectations, cultural rules, unspoken agreements about what was acceptable and what wasn't. And for a long time it worked, until one day it didn't. Awakening often begins right here, with the quiet realization that the life we're living, the role we're playing, or the version of ourselves others rely on no longer fits as cleanly as it once did. That realization can feel unsettling, even frightening, because loosening the persona raises deeper questions. If I'm not who I've been performing as, then who am I really? This episode isn't about tearing the persona down. It's about becoming conscious of it, about learning when it serves us and when it begins to suffocate the deeper self that's trying to emerge. So as you listen, I invite you not to judge the roles you've played. They likely protected you. They likely help you belong. Just notice them, and notice what happens when you allow yourself, even briefly, to set them down. And as always, this podcast is not therapy, not medical advice. This is psychological and spiritual education grounded in Jungian thought, real lived experience, and a symbolic lens of tarot. So let's begin. The persona, masks we wear, from John's Tarot Soul Awakening series. Welcome to John's Tarot. Today we explore a part of the psyche that's both necessary and limiting, the persona, or masks we show the world. In Jungian psychology, the persona is not fake, it's functional. But when we confuse the masks for who we are, we lose touch with our deeper truth, our essence, and our self. What is the persona? The persona is a social identity we develop to function in the world. It is the role we play, the professional, the helper, the parent, the achiever, the rational one, the good one, the quiet one, the strong one. We all have many masks. None of them are bad. They are adaptations. But when we believe the persona is ourself, we become trapped. We forget who we are beneath the role. How the persona develops. The persona begins forming in childhood. We learn very early which parts of us are welcomed, which parts cause conflict, which parts disappoint others, and which parts keep us safe. The child adapts. The child learns a role. The child creates a mask. As adults, we still wear those masks, sometimes long after they serve their purpose. The persona in tarot. The tarot captures the persona beautifully. These cards often show the face we present to the world. The magician, the skillful persona, the part of us that performs well, creates competence, and impresses others. The emperor, the authority persona, the part of us that wants control, structure, stability, and reliability. The Hierophant, the social persona, the part of us that belongs, follows traditions, and aligns with collective norms. When these cards appear upright, they show strength. When reversed or shadowed, they reveal the mask slipping. Signs your persona has taken over. How do you know you're living too much inside the persona? You feel drained after social interaction. You hide emotions or try to stay strong. You speak differently depending on the audience. You avoid conflict by becoming who others want. You feel unseen or misunderstood. You worry more about approval than authority. You sense a split between your public and private selves. When the persona dominates, the true self retreats. Individuation calls us back. Persona versus authentic self. Individuation is the process of removing the mask, not destroying it. We need a persona to survive, but we need authenticity to live. When you feel the pull to drop the persona and let the real voice speak, that is the self calling. The persona integration spread. You know I give you a free spread every week in order to investigate those parts of ourselves we seldom look at. This is called the persona spread. It's in a 5-card layout in a line. The mask, what I show the world. The hidden self, what I keep within. The fear, what I worry others will see. The origin, where this mask began. The integration, how can I be more authentic? This spread reveals not just the mask, but the truth behind it. Letting the mask fall. When the persona slips, we often feel embarrassed or afraid. But this is the moment of growth. This is where authenticity begins. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and that requires removing the masks we no longer need. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of the persona, the masks we wear. As we continue our Soul Awakening series, the layers fall away. The true self emerges. If this episode spoke to you, please like, subscribe, and share. And join me next time as we explore Episode 6, the inner opposite, the anima and the animus. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little presentation on the persona and the Jungian view of the persona. How that occurred to me was when I was sober for a little bit of time. I don't know, a year or two, first year, second year. And I started asking myself, first off, I started seeing repeated patterns playing out in my life, negative patterns, things that would make me fail. And I said, well, that's not my thinking. Whose ideas? Where's that coming from? That's not how I want to live my life. And I started asking myself deeper questions. And this is how it came about for me. And one of those questions was, I was like, well, am I John? Or am I just the person I was brought up to be? The person who was brought up in that religion, the person who inherited those family values, the person who was told by his family certain beliefs about him. Is that me, or is that just who I think about me? And I had to start looking deeper into my life and decide that from this point forward, I'm going to be who I am. And I needed to find out who that was. And it was a bit of a journey. Little did I know I was on the fool's journey. I wasn't reading tarot at the time, but I was on the journey of individuation. And that is part of the journey of individuation. So let's take a look at the persona spread that I developed for this podcast today. And you can ask yourself those same questions. Are you who you are, or are you the person your parents brought you up to be? Are you the person your religion taught you to be? Or are you who you truly are? Or do you know who you truly are and what makes you truly happy? And I think those are important questions to ask in life. So, the persona spread. 5-card layout in a line. My ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love, and I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. Okay. So, in the persona spread, give me a 5-card persona spread. The persona spread. All right, cut the deck. First card, the mask, what I show the world. And that is the Empress. So the Empress is somebody, the mask, what I show the world. She said, you stand at the doorway of the high priestess. I said the Empress, the high priestess. You stand at the doorway of the high priestess, and she is standing at the doorway of wisdom. She has from the Kabbalah, we had the wisdom. Severity and mercy, the 2 pillars. From the Bible, Bozan Jachin, from the pillars of Solomon. And she stands at the doorway, and she does not let fools enter easily. And what she indicates is the mask I show the world. Am I aware of the mask I show the world? Do I really know that I'm showing masks? Is that something I consider? Or is because I have different roles I play. I the nurse, the tarot reader, the podcaster, the husband. I have different roles I play. And what is my real, who am I really? And in my current life, I don't, I am aware I'm wearing masks as a nurse, as a podcaster, as a husband. Sometimes of course I let those masks down with my wife. And I am who I truly am, but I know who I truly am. And before I got married, I wanted to really know who I truly was so that I wasn't taking baggage into this relationship. I wanted to know what is my issues, what are not my issues. And it's been very helpful. So what I show the world, am I aware of what I'm showing? The high priestess, do I really know what I show the world? And am I willing to step through this doorway and find out what masks I'm showing? Second card is the 7 of Swords, and what I keep within me. Have I been honest with myself? Have I been honest with others about myself, about who I am, about what I hold inside? Have I done any shadow work to gain that type of deep inner honesty? What I keep within myself, I think that has to do with shadow work. And I'll refer to my past episode about that. There is no growth. I think it was Socrates who said, a life left unexamined is a life better not lived. Shadow work is that opportunity to examine your deeper self. And in a past episode, I offered a method of doing a little shadow work and taking a look at those parts of you that you don't want to share with the world. If you're in a 12-step program, they have steps 4 through 7 to help you with that shadow work. So what I keep within, have I looked at what I keep within? The hidden self. Third card, what I worry others will see. And then this one is the 5 of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles. What I worry others will see. Am I spiritually bankrupt? You see 2 people in hard times and financial difficulties with the 5 of Pentacles, stars shining through the cup outside the church. And that has to do with spirituality and the church. And the people. So what I worry others will see. Am I worried that others will see that I'm spiritually bankrupt, is what this card is saying. And am I worried what others will see that I have a dependency upon my higher power, that being my spirituality, that being the pentacles in the stained glass window shining on these people? Am I worried other people will know I'm dependent upon my higher power, upon my concept of God? Particularly in this life, I don't particularly worry about it. I am dependent upon a higher power, and that's okay. And that's definitely okay. But you should ask yourself those types of questions with this card. Okay, the fourth card, where this mask began. The 10 of Wands. That has to do with hard work. Where this mask began for me is the hard work I put in, in recovery, the hard work I put in rebuilding a life. And I certainly want to wear certain masks. The mask of being successful, the mask of being a nurse, the mask of recovering from a hopeless state of mind and body, those types of things. Those are certainly where that mask began, is with the hard work I've done, and kind of trying to put that old life behind me. But in reality, that life is always with me. And if it serves a particular purpose in my life for me to drop those masks to somebody, I do it. Because that's part of what I do in order to help other people along on the path to self-realization, individuation, sobriety, or healing. Final card, how can I be more authentic? The King of Wands. Hope you like the way I'm doing this card reading. The King of Wands. He is somebody who is more authentic. He's in charge. He's successful. He is has growth going as a result of this. And the King of Wands, how can I be more authentic? I just need to let people know that I've gone through this. I've been there. This is the path I chose out of that particular life, out of that particular paradigm of thinking. And this is where it's led me. And I just try to be an example, mostly a silent example. I don't talk about this with people at work. I don't talk about this with, I don't even talk about this with close friends, because very few of them understand. I just need to be an example and a presence. I have people in my life going through difficulties right now regarding this awakening. And it is my job not to awaken them. It is my job to be a presence, a solid presence, that it is possible, that they're on the right path, and they're for somebody to lean on. So that is my little bit on awakening. If you found this podcast interesting or helpful, go ahead and share it with somebody. This was episode 5. I've got episode 6 I'm working on, and that'll be coming up in a week or so. I'm going to, I do have something I'm going to post for next week, but it's just something more for entertainment. Give yourself a little break. This has been a difficult journey, especially the last couple of episodes, where we talk about shadow work and the persona and owning who we are and finding out who we are. And it's not always easy, and people don't always do it in their life. As I said in my opening, I'm not here providing mass entertainment for the masses. I'm here to walk with the willing. If you have any questions about your path, about your journey, go ahead and send me an email over to john@johnstarot.net. I also do audio podcasts, and I suggest you listening to both together, because they build a much better foundation in terms of what we're doing and explanations of what we're doing. And I just hope you've been enjoying the process. I have. So this is 5. I got 5 more to go, and we'll get through this. And I start talking now in the future about, now that we've put some of that away, the more comfortable parts of awakening. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind, and remember, have strength, find faith, and I will see you all and talk to you all this week. You can find me at John's Tarot and johnstarot.net and John's Tarot on your favorite podcast app. Okay, have a great week.